In my opinion, Felucia is one of the best, most detailed maps in all of Battlefront 2. Hey everyone, it's Andrew, and welcome to another episode of 50 Insane Details, the series where I find details, Easter eggs, and state the obvious about Star Wars related topics. But I feel like I'm not going to have to do that this week because this map is so incredibly detailed that there's so much to talk about and show you guys. Not sure I'll even be able to stick to 50 details in this one, so we'll see how we go. Might go a little overboard. Immediately when spawning into Felucia for the first time, I was blown away by the scale of this map and the amount of detail and effort put into its design. I'm sure lots of you agree. So here are 50 insane details about Felucia. First, let's talk about the planet itself. Felucia is a humid jungle that's overgrown with what you're seeing here, all different types of vibrant, thick, colorful flora. The planet is located in the Outer Rim and is one of several planets located along the Perlemian trade route. You actually hear the clone commander mention the trade route can be reopened once you win a round of co-op.
Felucia's safe and the trade route can be reopened. Well fought, brothers.
If you look closely at the surface of Felucia, you'll see lots of mushrooms. I'm not sure you can eat these though, you might get poisoned and then die a terribly horrible, painful death. And I wonder if any of the clones on Felucia tried these while they were here. The Felucians are farmers, so I'm sure some of these must be edible. There are lots and lots of bugs and flies you can hear and see buzzing all around the plants. It is a tropical, humid jungle after all, so there's bound to be lots of insects and other nasties. If you stop to look for a moment, you'll notice that plants in Felucia's jungle actually sway in the breeze, which means there is a breeze and wind on the planet if that wasn't obvious. You'll also notice these giant root structures, more of Felucia's landscape and native plant life, but to me they look like giant dragons or underwater sea creatures. Look, that one definitely has a mouth and maybe even eyes. Would be crazy if this suddenly all came to life. That would be very insane. An insane detail, perhaps. You can also run up on top of some of these root structures and use them as a sniping vantage point. Very handy in co-op and in the first phase when you're shooting all the droids. They're all coming in. And if you walk underneath, they look a bit like coral. For me, a lot of this planet feels like it could be underwater. With all the colorful plants and humid climate, I reckon they could have just as easily made Felucia an underwater planet and they wouldn't have to change anything, apart from adding the water, of course. That's essential to what I'm talking about. Now, Felucia has several different native animals and wildlife, and one of the most common of these is the Felucia Bird, which is what these guys are called. Was kind of disappointed when I found out they don't have an actual name apart from Felucia Bird. Kind of boring, you know? They appear very briefly in Revenge of the Sith and appear to be very elegant, colorful creatures when you get up close. Love seeing these kind of details in this game though. Really adds to the ambience of the world and makes you feel like it's a living, breathing planet. You can find these guys nesting in amongst all the plants, on top of things, all different locations around the map. I'm curious to know if they're random locations or if they're actually placed by the developers. Towards the clone spawn is an HAVW A6 Juggernaut, one of those giant multi-wheel tanks that first appeared on Kashyyyk in Revenge of the Sith. And you can see it firing blue rockets towards a Trade Federation landing ship over in the Outer Bounds part of the map. This is huge and is on fire, constantly taking missiles to its exterior and appears to have landed in a flatter area of the Felucian jungle. Now, over towards the landing ship appears to be a green fire, which is making me wonder if there's some kind of gas in the atmosphere on Felucia that turns certain fires green because the grenades are still, regular explosion color, or if this is some special kind of fire or something else altogether. I don't know. There's more of these though around the planet. Small green fires which if you step on, you take damage. They're actually in the world you can walk around in, and you don't want to step on these because you'll probably burn your foot. A droid hailfire tank drives out from behind the Trade Federation ship and will either be destroyed by a missile or will come out and fire several of its purple missiles towards the Republic spawn. Still wish we could drive these things. One of my favorite tanks in all of Star Wars, but all good for now. It's alright. I'm so happy with the content in this update. There's no way I'm complaining about anything. Honestly, just cool seeing the purple heat-seeking missiles fire in the distance. That's good enough for me for now. There are several craters around the map like this one, most likely created by either Republic or Separatist warfare. And I may or may not not have gotten stuck in a couple of these while I was playing. A few minutes into the battle, in either instant action or capital supremacy, an LAAT carrier flies in and drops off an ATT. You can then go down to the ATT to film some cinematic shots of it. Look at this, it's beautiful. And then go for a ride in the ATT, and then kill a bunch of clankers in the ATT. That's too many letters and acronyms for such a short amount of time. Okay, so you probably would have noticed these spore mushroom things. If you shoot them, they explode and release a toxic gas cloud which will inflict damage on anyone nearby. Great shooting these when you see a group of enemies in cover. They're also kind of similar to the deoxys gas Bosk releases. Okay, now let's talk command posts. There's a lot of variety in the command posts on Felucia, which is part of why I think this map is so great. Keeps it varied. This command post is located in a network of caves, which is kind of tucked away into the side of the map. Also, according to the community transmission for Felucia, a Rancor once lived in the cave, and its remnants are supposed to still be here somewhere, but I couldn't for the life of me find them, unless I wasn't looking in the right spot. But if you see a dead Rancor or some bones lying around somewhere here, please let me know. Also at this command post are a few of these strange plants, but then I watched them for a little while and they're actually spinning. And then I looked them up. They are in fact Felucian giant snails, so not plants at all. I feel like this is the type of planet where you could look at something and not realize it's alive until you look a little closer. These actually appeared in The Force Unleashed as well. That's where they first came from, I'm pretty sure. And just around the corner a bit from the cave network is a giant canyon, which is out of the map boundaries but looks really cool and like it goes on for a while. Okay, this command post here is located on an old jetty platform which sits on the edge of an extinct Sarlacc pit. Finally, the Sarlacc has made his return to the battlefront. If you look down into the Sarlacc, you'll see that it's now filled with water, which is why I'm assuming these pipes are running down into it to either pump water in or out. And in the water are these yellow-eyed fish. The Sarlacc pit is now a fish pond. What a way to repurpose the giant hole it's created. I was not expecting that. I bet it wasn't either. Now, you can drive a speeder or tank over the Sarlacc pit without falling into the water. You'll stay level with the water. However, if you walk in on foot, you will fall deep into its depths and drown. And also be able to see more of the Sarlacc's teeth and mouth just below the water's surface, which is really cool that they're actually here underwater. It's very cool. I like it. And of course, you can jump off the platform and go for a swim, possibly the greatest part of this entire map, including this here. Love it. Okay, this command post here is located in a swamp section of the map and is where the Republic have set up a drop site. Here you'll find an LAAT carrier and also lots of crates and Republic cargo. Next command post is located in a Felucian village, which is really cool. I like this place. It's modeled after the village shown in the Clone Wars TV show, a lot of similarities between the two, but there are no actual Felucians here in Battlefront 2, assuming they've evacuated. The village is decorated with lanterns, tents with drawings on the fabric, and also wind catchers shaped and decorated to look like Felucian rippers, which I'll tell you about soon. There are several of these small Felucian hut houses, all of which are different and have different personal items inside. Let me show you. If you walk up to one of the huts, an automatic door will open and you can take a look inside the dwellings of the native Felucian farmers. This one has a few pillows and kids paintings on a rug in the middle of the room. This one here is really green. You'll notice they have green fires in their fireplaces. This one has 2 green chairs and footrests, along with a dining table in the middle, some danishes in the fridge, and kids paintings stuck up here. This is a really cool little detail. Some type of soup or casserole on the table here as well. They must have had to evacuate just before they had dinner. This one I went into and looked out the window to see 3 super battle droids all running around this command post. Now I know why the Felucians evacuated. Don't want to mess with these guys. This one here has a couple pies in the oven and fridge. This one has a few different bundled leaf stacks. Not sure why these are inside the actual house. Also a bit messier in here than the others. Furniture overturned. And this one's a complete mess. The chairs are knocked over, plates and cutlery on the floor, table on its side. Hope nothing bad happened to these poor Felucian farmers. Remember the farmers. This is a pet Felucian snail in a little pet house. Thought this was a funny little thing. Like having a pet dog, the Felucians have pet giant snails. Makes sense. There are a bunch of ladders around the village. You can't climb them. And now I know this video is called 50 insane details, but there's just so much in this map that I'm gonna keep going. Stick with me, I'm not even close to being finished. There are so many details. There's also a water tower in this village. Nearby the village is this red flower farm surrounded by a green force field fence, which is the same fence used in the Clone Wars to stop the pirates from harassing the Felucian farmers. They set this one up. It's really cool. Fun fact, you can actually turn the fence on and off. See here. Okay, next command post is located on a Felucian farm, assuming this is part of the farm looked after by the Felucian villagers, just like in the Clone Wars. There are lots of these red flowers and a few hover carriers, used for carrying what I'm assuming is fertilizer and these bundles of leaves we saw in that house before. Close by is one of these Republic Ford command posts, like we see on Geonosis and other maps, along with a dead clone lying on the ground. Poor guy. This here, up way in the sky, is a Felucian Ripper, or Manta. I think they're the same thing anyway, Ripper and Manta. Kinda looks like a manta ray. Anyway, they're supposed to be deadly, so if you see one, you might want to stay away. Now, one thing you might not know about this update into Battlefront 2 is they've actually canonized some of these creatures and planet characteristics into official Star Wars canon. I'm pretty sure this is the most detailed canon creation of Felucia, as it combines what we see in Revenge of the Sith and the Clone Wars, and also takes elements of the Star Wars Legends universe. So everything you see on Felucia in Battlefront 2 is now canon and approved by Disney. If you're walking through the Felucian jungle and you see a spore suddenly suck itself into the ground and produce a small cloud of green gas, then you were lucky enough to witness a Felucian spore burst, which is what I'm calling it because I couldn't find too much or any info about this online. But they're all over the map and add to the realism of being in this world. Most detailed map ever, man, for real. If you look up into the sky, you'll notice it's yellowy orange and is cloudy and gaseous. Doesn't really look breathable either, but everyone seems to be doing okay, so I think we're all good for now. This here is a bridge that runs over the swampier parts of the map. A few of these around the map, I think, running over the swamps, but you can still run in the swamp and be fine. Around the map are a few destroyed AATs of the blue variety. Also are several destroyed ATTs, destroyed Hailfire tanks, destroyed LAATs, destroyed OG-9 homing spider droids, would also love to play as these one day, but we'll see. And a deactivated battle droid hangs over the side of one of these. Thought this was a cool little insane detail. The droid spawn is located at these two separatist MTTs, one of which has its door open and has deployed all its droids. Here are some weird purple flower plants, which for some reason remind me of a cross between the garbage compactor monster and a Venus flytrap. When you spawn in as a clone at the start of the match, two LAATs take off and disappear into the atmosphere, as if returning to a capital ship just outside the planet's atmosphere. And that's where we're finally leaving Felucia as well. So there you go, 70 insane details on Felucia. And I'm pretty sure I've missed or left out a bunch of stuff, but I'll leave that for you to find yourself. I want to know what you love most about Felucia, or if there's anything you know of that I've missed. Let me know in the comments. And for more 50 insane details videos, you can watch the last one here, or even take a look at the full playlist. And follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Discord, and let me know what you want 50 insane details about next. Thanks for watching this. Love this map. My name's Andrew. I'll catch you soon.
Stay bombastic.